Despite Dr. Korczak's pioneering advocacy for children's rights and children's health, surprisingly few pediatricians have heard of Dr. Korczak and his extraordinary legacy. So who was Janusz Korczak? Dr. Korczak was born in 1878 in Warsaw, Poland, as Henryk Goldschmidt. His father was a physician, and his actually grandfather and father was a well-regarded Warsaw attorney. After graduating from high school, Korczak enrolled in a medical school, and he did, however, have a real interest in literature, to which he devoted all of his free time. His literary career started as early as 1896, and in 1905 he completed his first novel, Children of the Street. Upon his graduation from medical school in 1905, Korczak was mobilized to a Russo-Japanese front. It's probable that the atrocities of the war paved Korczak's future path, first that of pediatrician and then of a pioneering advocate for children's rights. After his return from the front, Korczak returned to his pediatrics practice, and to expand his knowledge, he spent extended time abroad, a year in Berlin, 6 months in Paris, and some time in London. Over time, he developed sensitivity to social issues, which can be expressed in his own words. While medicine can prevent and cure illness, it cannot turn people into better individuals. Korczak's professional activity as a physician became less intensive with time, as he devoted more and more attention to education. In his view, a more effective way to contribute to society, the social environment, and to improving the world. Most of us here today take it for granted that children deserve respect, dignity, and rights, and we make it our mission to see that they get them. We believe in having a dialogue with children and about children, and we strive to treat children as friends and partners. But although these were not widespread beliefs in Korczak's time, they were central to Korczak's pedagogical philosophy, and he advocated and fought for them relentlessly, not just in principle, but in daily practice. Korczak was a man of many accomplishments, but perhaps the most impressive is that he truly put his philosophy into practice. For over 30 years, he was an orphanage director. There, the principles that he espoused in his writing played out in reality. Dr. Korczak's orphanage was based on a unique system of democracy known as Children's Republic. Children in the orphanage were citizens of the democratic community, which included a parliament, a code of law, and a court of peers, and a children's newspaper. The purpose of the court was to maintain order and prevent injustices, and to protect the rights of individual children. The code of law advocated forgiveness and mercy. And in a dialogue and partnership with children, his philosophy evolved with input from their shared experiences. Korczak protected children and shielded them from atrocities. Korczak believed that children should have their place in the family and society, and also at some conferences. They should have a right to education, good health, good nutrition, and good hygiene. Children should have the right to voice their opinion, right to be heard, and adults should listen to their views. Each child has the right to be what he or she is meant to be. Korczak's beliefs were crystallized in the following famous quotation. Children are not people of tomorrow, but are people of today. They have the right to be taken seriously and to be treated with tenderness and respect. They should be allowed to grow into whoever they are meant to be. Well, Korczak was a humanitarian, an educator, and a pediatrician. He was a children's advocate, but more than anything else, he was a friend of children. And he believed that this right should be universal and irrespective of religion, culture, or place of origin. He believed that children brought up in a healthy and happy environment become happy, productive, and creative adults. Pope John Paul II described Korczak as a rare human being, a symbol of religion and true morality. Janusz Korczak was widely recognized as a visionary innovator in his recognition and affirmation of the intrinsic and universal rights of the child, which in 1989 United Nations Convention on the Rights of a Child embodied in international law, inspired by Korczak's writings. Critically for Korczak, children's rights came hand in hand with responsibilities. Part of respecting children for him was to not overprotect them and to make them an integral part of the way their world functioned, purposefully and actively engaging in their environment rather than being passive bystanders and passive recipients of adults' experiences. It is crucial to their academic achievements, to their open-mindedness, compassion, engagement, willingness to share their opinions with others, their natural curiosity, and creative and critical thinking. He dedicated his life to children and ultimately sacrificed his life for the love of children. Korczak's co-worker of many years, Misha Wasserman, commented on it. You know, everyone makes so much of Korczak's last decision to go with children to the train, meaning train that took them to Treblinka concentration camp where they all perished. But all his life was made up of moral decisions. The decision to become a children's doctor, the decision to give up medicine and his writing career to take care of poor orphans, the decision to go with Jewish orphans into the ghetto. As for the last decision to go with children to Treblinka, it was a part of his nature. It was who he was. He wouldn't understand why we make so much of it today. The Janusz Korczak Association of Canada, in partnership with Ontario Advocate for Children and Youth, has published the translation of two recent memoirs written by Korczak's orphans. These books, available on our website, will give you a glimpse into Korczak's world through the eyes of his pupils and an opportunity to recognize the relevance of his philosophy in today's world. To paraphrase the words of the Advocate for Children's Rights from Ontario, Mr. Erwin Ellman, no, there's no legislation to prescribe love, but yes, there's a way to legislate a law that facilitates an environment for love, respect, better health, nutrition, and education, and elevate and make children's voice more prominent. This is, in a nutshell, that's in a nutshell Dr. Korczak's philosophy. The Janusz Korczak Association of Canada aims to promote Korczak's philosophy in North America, believing that it is as relevant in today's reality as it was 100 years ago when Korczak began his crusade. In this spirit, we organize a series of 6 lectures in collaboration with the Faculty of Education at the University of British Columbia, with the cooperation of the Department of Pediatrics at UBC, the School of Social Work, Child Welfare Center at the University of Victoria, lawyers, and child activists. The lecture series received many notable endorsements, including that of a Chief Policy Advisor of UNICEF Canada, BC Representative for Children and Youth, Mary Ellen Turpel-Lafond, Provincial Advocate of Youth in Ontario, Erwin Ellman, and European Commissioner for Human Rights in Strasbourg, Mr. Thomas Hammerberg, and many others. The goal of the lecture series was to lay the foundation for a dialogue about how to love a child, how to respect a child, and how to care for our children's well-being. Korczak advocated and practiced a holistic approach to caring for children. This is what this dialogue was trying to foster. A range of disciplines and expertise were represented in the series, including social work, medicine, child welfare, and education, and variety of perspectives and issues were addressed. The invited speakers spanned across fields and generations in an attempt to make this dialogue as inclusive as possible. Actually, there was about 30 speakers and panelists. This lecture series is now succeeded by UBC Faculty of Education's Dean's Distinguished Speaker Lecture, Janusz Korczak, the Father of Children's Rights, Turning Rights into Action. This is an annual event dedicated to examining solutions to the execution of the rights of the child, with the emphasis on education in the context of holistic approach to the well-being of a child. The Distinguished Speaker Series is one element of the broader spectrum of activities that the Association has envisioned as the next step in turning the legacy of Dr. Korczak into action towards well-being of children. In the field of education, the Association has established the Janusz Korczak Association of Canada Graduate Scholarship in Children's Rights and Canadian Indigenous Education, offered to an outstanding graduate student in the Faculty of Education whose research is focused on children's and or Canadian Indigenous education in a field of early childhood education. In the field of children's rights, the Association now annually awarding a medal to an outstanding Canadian activist in the field of children's rights. The medal is awarded by the Association jointly with the British Columbia representative for children and youth. We have awarded 2 Janusz Korczak medals last year to Melanie Mark, member of British Columbia legislation, just this month re-elected, and this year to Dr. Cindy Blackstock. That more or less concludes the presentation, and just a short remark that towards the end of August next year, between 25th and 28th of August, there's an international Korczak conference right in Seattle, right in on the west coast, close to Vancouver, very close to Montreal, maybe not that close. So we are very warmly, cordially invited to participate in it, and we have a representative of Korczak Association United States, Tatiana Cyrilina-Spady. So if you are interested, you can contact Tatiana. So now, without further ado, on behalf of the Janusz Korczak Association of Canada, I'm really very proud and humble to present the inaugural Janusz Korczak Statuette Award in the field of social work and pediatrics. And the award was established to honor an individual or organization that has taken a leadership role in promoting the rights of children in the fields such as pediatrics, social work, or child and youth work, who has demonstrated a focus on children in vulnerable circumstances, such as children in state care, homeless children, refugees, or immigrant children, or children experiencing violence. I'm honored to present the first annual Janusz Korczak Statuette Award to Hélène Trudel and Dr. Julien. And I really can't think of anyone more deserving of this honor than Hélène and Jill. Their work has embodied the spirit of the men for whom the world is named, and I will venture to say that they are Korczaks of the 21st century. The work is an inspiration to all of us. Dear Hélène and Julien, please accept this award.
C'est un grand honneur. C'est probablement le plus grand honneur qu'on a eu à date parce que Dr. Korczak, c'est assez étonnant parce qu'il y a 2-3 ans, Jerry nous a contactés pour nous demander d'aller donner une conférence à Vancouver dans le cadre à la faculté d'éducation. Et j'avais jamais oublié Dr. Korczak parce que j'ai fouillé dans ma bibliothèque, j'ai retrouvé un livre que j'avais acheté. Moi, j'ai gradué en médecine en 70. Pas 1870, là, 1970. Et effectivement, j'avais le livre, en fait, c'est un livre qui contenait 3 livres du Dr. Korczak qui était intitulé « Le respect de l'enfant ». Et j'avais marqué mon nom en 1971. Dès le début de ma médecine, j'avais été très impressionné par son œuvre. Et ce livre-là m'a suivi toujours. Et c'était vraiment un grand honneur de connecter avec l'organisation qui assure la continuité du Dr. Korczak. Alors, c'est ça l'histoire. Et cet honneur-là est vraiment extrêmement touchant pour nous. Pour faire un Dr. Korczak, ça prend plusieurs personnes. En fait, nous, on a mélangé la médecine et le droit, puis c'est un grand honneur de le recevoir ensemble parce que médecine et droit, ça va beaucoup ensemble, et travail social, bien sûr, mais c'est la base de notre approche, de notre pratique. Alors, on le reçoit vraiment au nom de la Fondation Dr. Julien parce que toute l'équipe de la Fondation et le réseau, en plus, maintenant, travaillent exactement dans le même sens que Dr. Korczak. C'est pour ça qu'on vous a amené la Convention des droits puis qu'on tient à ce que vous l'appliquiez d'emblée puis que ce soit votre outil principal. Alors, merci beaucoup, Jerry, de ce grand honneur et toute l'équipe. Alors, je laisse la parole à Hélène.
Juste quelques mots. C'est très touchant d'être reconnu à ce niveau-là. Merci beaucoup, Jerry. En tout cas, nous, ça a été une grosse surprise parce que c'est des gens qui travaillent très fort comme vous. Tout le monde ici, vous êtes des docteurs Korczak. Et puis, c'est ça, on décide de faire le travail comme ça parce qu'il y a des injustices, même au Canada, même dans des pays, un pays riche comme au Canada, comme au Québec. On va voir qu'il y a des poches de vulnérabilité partout. Et c'est incompréhensible dans un pays riche. Quand Korczak a fait son travail avec Stéphania, parce qu'on ne parle pas beaucoup de Stéphania, mais il y a une femme à côté de lui qui a dirigé avec lui les orphelinats. Et elle aussi est allée dans le train accompagner les 200 enfants avec Korczak. Mais tout ça pour vous dire que c'est important de parler de droit, mais plus de mettre l'action pour que les enfants soient vraiment respectés dans leur dignité. Puis c'est pour ça qu'on est là aujourd'hui tous ensemble. Merci beaucoup.